Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to talk about my Model S Plaid delivery that has been extended to sometime in 2022 and how I actually solved the problem. Now as you may know, the problem is that I had my Model S Plaid Plus order in as soon as it was announced. So that was estimated for Q1 2022. Then in June, Tesla cancelled Plaid Plus and my order was transformed into a regular Plaid. Now, regular is also between quotes, of course, because this car is bonkers. But that was still foreseen for delivery Q1 2022, which would be perfect because my current lease is running out on the 3rd of March 2022. So that would have been a perfect trade-in that was possible. And after 5 years having driven with the same car, which is the longest time that I've driven with any car without switching to a newer model or a completely different car in my entire life, basically. That would have been a perfect switch. However, as of early September, the delivery date in my account had changed from Q1 2022 to we don't have a clue and we'll call you whenever we have more information. And that got me a little bit concerned already. And then, of course, a few weeks ago, we got the message from Tesla that officially announced it, like, hey, your car is not going to arrive in Europe anytime before the second half of 2022. So my car can be delivered as of the second half of 2022. Now they don't say whether it will be August or December. So that makes it hard to find a solution because as of March 2022, I would be without a car. Now, extending the lease at the end here is also not an option because the lease company that I'm with no longer does cars, so they are not willing to extend the lease there. I've also been looking into short leases, but short leases, there are two forms of short leases, which is basically with one you say, okay, I want the car for a year, for example, but then you need to know that, hey, this is going to take a year. And I don't know that because Tesla cannot tell me whether it will be August or December or maybe even later that my car will be delivered. So that was not an option. And then the second form of short lease is that you can do it like for 3 months, and then after 3 months you can do it on a monthly basis. But those forms of short lease are extremely expensive and it was just not worth it for me. So I looked into other solutions, other cars, going back to an ICE car for a couple of months, maybe, but I wasn't feeling right. So eventually what I ended up doing, and this is against all of my principles basically, is I bought a Model Y. The reason why it's against my principles is I'm buying a car that is just going to be an intermediate solution, which is just a crazy thought to spend 65,000 euros on a car that is not going to last very long. And secondly, it's also against my principles because I really don't like SUVs. I don't like the shape of the SUV. I don't like sitting high. I know most people do. For me personally, I love sitting lower in a car. So why did I do it then? It's basically, there's two options that I have here. So the first option is that when my Model S finally arrives, I will trade in that Model Y again, and that residual value will be then deducted from the amount I need to pay for the car. So that's going to even out like in renting the car, for example, and I would get a brand new car. Again, short leasing would be an older car and I would downgrade myself. So now I would have the newer technology. And secondly, and that's the main reason why I made this decision, is I've been trying to get my wife into an EV for quite some time. And the original idea was to look at a Model Y sometime this year, but at the beginning of this year, her car broke down and the Model Y was not available yet. So we had to buy something else. So we got her an Audi A4, the station wagon, so that has a lot of cargo space because she needed to get to the recycling park and that kind of stuff. So the cargo space is very important, which is also now the reason why a Model 3 is never going to be an option, because I actually got my wife to come with me and to take a look at the Model Y. And she opened the trunk of the Model 3. I was like, nope, this ain't never gonna happen. No, 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 no. So the Model Y was the only option that we had in that respect. And it does have a fair amount of storage space. And of course, I have 3 kids that need to be seated in the back and comfortably, because again, next year, hopefully, if the whole pandemic situation allows us to do it, we will go back again to Norway. So that's another 5,000-kilometer trip that we will be doing. So everybody needs to be sitting comfortably. Everybody needs to be having the luggage space that we need with 5 people, and to have it to travel comfortably and not start washing our clothes every 2 days, that kind of stuff. So the Model Y is kind of the only car that suited all of our needs besides the Model S. So yeah, the idea is that after I get my Model S, or at the moment that I get my Model S, I will sell the car from the company because I will buying it on my company. I will sell it from the company to myself privately, and then hopefully my wife will be driving the Model Y for the foreseeable future. But again, it's going to depend on the residual value, because 65,000 euros, that's a lot more than what we can afford to spend on any car. So I'm hoping that the company can make the car devaluate a little bit by using it for a year, and then selling it at a much better value, considered from a private perspective. I've also went for the basic version, so I'm not getting the performance because of the idea that my wife will be driving it and she doesn't need a performance Model Y. She's coming from a car that does 0 to 60 in like 7.5 or 8 seconds, and it's going to go down to 5 seconds, so that's plenty fast for her. And also, I will be having, initially at least, only the standard autopilot on it. I might update or upgrade to the enhanced autopilot, but I'm definitely not going to buy FSD on this car, at least not yet, because what we are getting in Europe with enhanced autopilot is basically everything that is possible at the moment in Europe. The only thing we get additionally with FSD is a stop sign and traffic light recognition, and everything else is just a future promise. And I have to say, the stoplight recognition, it's nice to have, but I wouldn't miss it. And also, it's still frequently wrong, especially with the overhead lights, where you have one traffic light going straight on, the other one going left, and as soon as the left one goes green and I need to go straight on, it starts pinging at me like, hey, it's green, while it's not green for my lane. So it's not working that well either at this point. So I don't think I'll be missing it that much. And I'm still hoping that maybe after New Year's, Elon might come out with the subscription for the FSD or the enhanced autopilot. Then I might be taking that one, because I know for sure that my wife won't be using the auto lane change or the navigate on autopilot. She just likes driving herself, and a regular cruise control is basically all that she needs, or the adaptive cruise control at least. I've always had a gray Model S, so my P85D, that was a gray car. The P100D is a gray car. The Plaid will be a gray car, because I really like the gray color that it has. It adds finesse to the car, while a color adds more sportiness to the car. Now, as soon as I saw the Model 3s back in, I think it was 2017, when I went to the Roadster unveil in the US, I visited the Fremont factory as well. And I saw the cars there in all different colors. And I was like, there's only one color for me for Model 3. And that extends to the Model Y as well. And that is blue. So go Team Blue. I'm not getting the white seats. And that's a veto from my wife. And since she has to drive with it, afterwards potentially. It's just the standard black seats, and also like the wood interior a little bit better than what you get with the white seats. The delivery should be in February, but Tesla tells me like, yeah, it could be March as well. And they also told me that they were going to be pretty lenient with the trade-in or of the and at the end of my lease, because I have a buyback warranty, so I don't have to give it back to the lease company. I have to give it back to Tesla, and they will pay off the remainder of the lease. And they said, well, if it's only a month, we can probably let you drive that car for another month until your car arrives, knowing that you have another order with us. So that would be good, because otherwise, if the car would have been extended to May or something, then I would have to find an intermediate solution for the intermediate solution, and that would just be crazy. So this is now the idea, to get the car and either trade it in, but most likely we'll buy it privately, and after that, finally, my wife will be driving with an EV as well. So that's it. That's the solution that I have, and I'm really looking forward to driving the Model Y as well, to find out where are the differences. And as I said, we'll be taking it on our family road trip to Norway as well. So again, Norway, EV-friendly country, supercharger in abundance, and there will be no problem getting that trip and getting all the necessary cargo with us that we usually take on such a big trip. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.